Hi Stampin' friends. Today's video is going to be about making this card from the Beautifully Happy stamp set, which you can get with Sale-A-Bration, January and February of this year. It's a simple card, but what I really want to demonstrate is the amazing Stamparatus and how awesome it is to make cards quickly, especially if you want to make multiple cards. So I'm going to start. My card base is a A2 card. It is Fresh Freesia, which is one of the outgoing in colors, the 21 to 23 in colors, and I love this Fresh Freesia color. I'm definitely going to be stocking up on that before that retires. The next layer is from the Tea Boutique Designer Series paper. These are 6x6 papers. I've used quite a few of them, and they're really pretty designs. Of course, they're two-sided as always. And the one I chose for this is this particular one, but I could have very easily gone with the cute little teapots, or this one that kind of has the ones that look like heather, but we're going to use this one today. This is cut to 5 1/4 by 3, so you can get 2 of these out of one of those 6x6. You can make 2 cards, so that's going to be those 2 layers. What I really want to show you today is the use of the Stamparatus. So this is the Stamparatus. Mine is well used. And I'm going to start by doing the flower layer. So this has a layer, it's a foam layer. So if your stamps are the clear photopolymer, then you definitely, which mine is, you're definitely going to want to leave on this padding. If it's rubber, then you just remove that and use the base only. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to put on my paper, my white cardstock. And it comes with these 2 magnets that are incredibly powerful. Now you can see mine are broken. So here's a word of caution for you. Don't let them get close together and hit each other because they will bust, which I know, but they still work, so it's all good. I'm just going to lay that where I want it to go, and I'm just going to fold this top down. And then it's going to be ready to stamp. So I'm going to slide this down so you can see this side. So this kind of goes down like this, but if you take your stamp case and slide it under, it is the perfect height to get a good base for putting your ink on. So I'm actually using a VersaFine ink, which is not through Stampin' Up, but it gives really good detail because it's a pigment ink. So I stamp that, and then I press it down, and there's my impression. Now, what if I didn't get it stamped all the way somewhere? Well, then I can re-ink it, and I can do it again because it'll go in the exact same place, which is really good for something that you need good coverage for. But here's the cool thing. You get an additional plate, and you can see here are the grooves for that additional plate. So what that allows you to do is, I'm gonna take the second step, which is filling in these flowers. And it's this one. And of course, these are clear so that you can lay it right where it needs to put that. In our case, we're going to use the Fresh Freesia color, and we're going to lay it right where it needs to be. And then I'm going to fold this over. So now, I'm just going to slide this over so you can see. I can ink up this plate. And then, start over, I can move it over and put on my purple flower ink. Now what is so cool about this is that I can now take this out and I can get another piece of cardstock. This one's not cut down to that size, but that's fine. And I'm ready to make another one. So I ink up the flower. And then I ink the actual purple flowers, and it goes right where it needs to be. And you can just keep cranking these out. Now I know you're saying, but Lisa, you haven't put on the green yet. And that's true. When you have to do more than one of these, you might not be able to do them all at the same time. Sometimes you can lay them where you need them to be and ink them separately. But I think for doing this, it's a good demonstration of how this works. But I also want to show you how easy it is to do this without the Stamparatus as well. So I'm going to use my piercing mat to be a kind of a soft bottom for this. And I'm gonna get my Granny Apple Green. And the next part of my stamp will be the leaves. The leaves are right here. And just, this is kind of large, but now these are gonna be, they're gonna go right here. Okay, so just kind of about where I need them to be. And now I'm gonna go ahead and ink up my leaves. And because I can see through, I can go ahead and line these up right where they need to be. And then press. And there are my leaves. Now the final piece is this. So this is also gonna be done in Granny Apple Green, but I want it to be a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna stamp off. So this is the top of this flower. And it's gonna go something like that. So I have this here. So because I'm gonna stamp off, I wanna have a little scrap of paper to do that stamping off. Okay, ink it up, stamp off, line it up, and stamp. So you see it just comes out a little lighter, which I think is really pretty. So you can see that. So I cut this out using the decal edge dies. So I like these almost as much as I like the stitched, but these are the decal edge dies, and I used the third one, the third largest one, to cut that out. It fits rather nicely right there. And I already have one of those made, so we could do this a little more quickly. So I have my card base, I have that layer, and I now have my flower layer. And I'm gonna go ahead and adhere that down. Decide which way looks better. That way looks better. I kind of want to do this up near the top because my sentiment's going to go bottom left right here. And the sentiment, this is a thank you card. So I'm going to use my thank you stamp. Go ahead and stamp the thank you. And here I am again with these dies that I absolutely love, the Stylish Shapes dies. And this is a little thank you, and it actually will use the next to smallest circle right there. And then the next larger one I use to make the matte layer for it. So you get these two pieces that are stitched. And I already have those cut. So I'm gonna use the Tombow liquid glue so I can slide this around and get it as close to centered as possible. Whoa, or not. Okay, I have to slide it quickly though. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals to adhere that. So I'm going to use 2 of the large dimensionals. To pop that right in the corner. And for the final touch, gotta have some bling. I love my bling. These are the in color opal rounds. And again, these are the outgoing in color opal rounds. And these are the fresh freesia ones. I'm gonna use my take your pick tool and put one large dot there and a coordinating small dot in this corner. Flip that over. It just gives it a little bit of bling, a nice look. Helps out with some balance too to make the card look very balanced. And there is our card. So I hope you enjoyed card making with me today. And let me know if there's anything I can do for you. Have a great day. Decide which way looks better. That way looks better. I kind of want to do this up near the top because my sentiment's going to go bottom left right here. And the sentiment, this is a thank you card. So I'm going to use my thank you stamp. Go ahead and stamp the thank you. And here I am again with these dies that I absolutely love, the Stylish Shapes dies. And this is a little thank you, and it actually will use the next to smallest circle right there. And then the next larger one I use to make the matte layer for it. So you get these two pieces that are stitched. And I already have those cut. So I'm gonna use the Tombow liquid glue so I can slide this around and get it as close to centered as possible. Whoa, or not. Okay, I have to slide it quickly though. And then I'm going to use some dimensionals to adhere that. So I'm going to use 2 of the large dimensionals. the corner. And for the final touch, gotta have some bling. I love my bling. These are the in color opal rounds. And again, these are the outgoing in color opal rounds. And these are the fresh freesia ones. I'm gonna use my take your pick tool and put one large dot there and a coordinating small dot in this corner. Flip that over. It just gives it a little bit of bling, a nice look. Helps out with some balance too to make the card look very balanced. And there's our card.